Third stream of the day. Never not streaming. This is going to be relatively short. Maybe, if we're lucky, we'll get 2 warp rooms done. We'll see how it goes. Pop the disc in. I'm hoping, because obviously while I'm on the PS2 menu, there's parts of the screen getting cut off. Now, I corrected for overscan. Last time I was playing on the PlayStation 1, I think the amount of overscan on the PS1 is identical from game to game. We'll have to see. I hate how it changes video mode every time it comes out of the BIOS screen. Well, it's cutting off a bit too much. Let me see if I can correct for that.
Crash Bandicoot 2. Cortex Strikes Back. Press Start to begin.
If the left and right crop is correct, still. I'll approximately do top and bottom. That's currently at 70. The problem is the title screen is not a good thing to use as a basis because it's so dark anyway, it's hard to freaking tell.
Crash Bandicoot 2. Cortex Strikes Back.
I think that's cropped correctly.
Press Start to begin.
We'll go with that. Maybe I shouldn't even bother cropping, maybe I should just let it have the overscan. So I'm probably fucking with the aspect ratio, giving it stretch to the full screen. Anyway, so first thing I want to point out with Crash 2, my controller's not working. Oh, it is working. I don't want to be in Spanish. Sorry, I was looking at the stream preview and I forgot there's a second delay on what I see on the stream preview versus what I see on the telly. So first thing I want to point out, obviously, natural thing to do is hit new game. There is a oversight with the way the load game works. So if you hit load game, it takes you into the warp room and puts you in front of the load save screen. If you hold it right on the D-pad as you load in, you move out the way just far enough to trigger into a new game anyway.
Well. If it isn't Crash.
So we're now just in a fresh save file. So they don't do that in the speedruns. I don't know whether it's known about and forbidden or what, but if there's a little opening sequence that you completely skip by doing this. So I don't ever really see anyone talk about that, but that's just a little skip you can do if you want to get into the game quicker. But you miss out on the opening cutscene, so we're not going to do that. We're going to back out again and actually hit new game proper.
Crash Bandicoot 2. Cortex Strikes Back.
Now, none of these games are particularly plot-rich, but it's nice how they always continue directly one after the other.
Crystals. Of course.
Dr. Cortex, to reach full power, we need not only your master crystal, but also the remaining 25 slave crystals from the surface. How do you expect to retrieve them when we don't have any Earthbound operatives left?
You fool! Do you think I'm unaware of the situation? If we don't have any friends left on the surface, then we need to find an enemy.
Crash? Crash? Crash! My battery is fried. Make yourself useful, big brother, and bring an extra battery for me.
Well, there's our introduction to Coco, who I'm pretty sure I recall hearing that the only reason Coco exists is because the Universal execs were a bit wary about bringing back Torna, what with her being quite sexualized, but so they wanted a female character that wasn't sexualized, so they introduced Coco. Who in this scene, I'm pretty sure those like lighter splotches on her hair and her face are meant to represent like the sunbeams coming down upon her, but because she then, freely moves her head, it doesn't really work. Sorry. I'm drinking again and it's causing me to have burps. Yeah, so this is the little intro sequence I referred to earlier. Unfortunately, we still have single like fruits per bounce on the bouncy crates. So you get stuff like these fake bottomless pits to teach you what a bottomless pit looks like. You'll notice some crouching. That's new from Crash 2. Crash 1 did not have crouching. You also can slide and crawl. And you can do that with either the circle button or the R1 button. I don't know why they banned that to two separate buttons, but they did. Yeah, as I say, all the speedruns hit new game normally that I saw. So I don't know whether that's a rule thing or whether I'm literally the only person who actually knows you can skip into a new save file by going to the load screen. I don't actually recall what happens if you die in this sequence. Also, I don't know whether the opening of this, where we're with Coco, is meant to be Insanity Beach. In the ending sequence, it's very clear that you are meant to be going to Insanity Beach, but that's not really what we're seeing here.
Well, well, well. If it isn't Crash Bandicoot, welcome. I apologize for the crude means used to bring you here, but I rather expect a written invitation would have been turned down. I need your help. Surrounding you are a series of 5 doors. Through each door lies a well-hidden crystal. The crystals look like this. Bring me the crystals, Crash. That is all I will say for now. We will speak again.
So I'm not going to do it on this particular playthrough, but... So the crystals are just added into the game from Crash 1 as kind of a marker for you complete the level. With the exception of the pits, every crystal is on the critical path anyway. Actually, I'm lying. I think there's one of the sewer levels where technically you can miss it. Point being, the crystals are not designed to be something that you're likely to miss. They're meant to be pretty easy to find. But if you repeatedly fail to get a crystal, I think there's like up to 5 maybe different dialogues Cortex can give you, increasingly getting annoyed at you not getting a crystal. Anyway, Turtle Woods. So you'll notice this level has both a clear gem and a blue gem. Now, as far as I can remember, there is nothing in this game that tells you how to get the blue gem. In Crash N. Sane Trilogy, they just added it to the loading tooltip, which made it really obvious. But what you have to do is clear the level without breaking any boxes to get the blue gem. Which does mean you have to do it in 0 deaths, because obviously if you can't break any boxes, you can't break any checkpoints. If you can't break any checkpoints and you get deaths, then you are sent back to the beginning of the level. So you have to do the whole level without any deaths. But being the first level in the game, unsurprisingly, it has very few hazards. We'll talk a bit more about some of the mechanical changes in Crash 2 versus 1 later on. One of the things to note is that, with the exception of this, which I've said you can't take a death for practical reasons, one of the things that Crash 2 changes is it's no longer necessary to... oh, there we go, got it. No longer necessary to clear a level without dying to be eligible for the box jam. What I'm doing to get out of these pits is something called a glitch high jump. So you slide, jump, and then spin. So the slide jump gives you... It's difficult to get a good camera angle for this. Slide jump gives you a bit of extra height. The glitch high jump gives you even more height. It wasn't an intended mechanic by Naughty Dog, but it is something that the speedruns rely on, and it's something they did bring forward for N. Sane Trilogy. Right, blue gem collected. Now, without exiting the level, which is what I used to do, one thing to note is that the collectibles like crystals and gems, once you've collected them, they are yours regardless of whether you die or not. Meaning, for something like this, where we failed to collect any checkpoints whatsoever, rather than leave the level and have to load back in to get the box gem, it's easier just to commit suicide, which takes us straight back to the beginning of the level. We lose our mask, but the mask isn't that important because this is a relatively easy level anyway. So now we can collect the box gem. Now if this was Crash 1, we would still be eligible for the box gem anyway, because you get the mulligan rule, which is it's not necessarily that you have to clear the level without dying, it's that you have to clear the level without respawning at a checkpoint. But point being, you can take as many deaths as you like and not be punished from getting the box gem. Now, for whatever reason, I'm always in the habit of getting the checkpoint first, but you want to come back to this platform here and do this body slam into it. Body slam is another move that's added to Crash 2 that's not specified. It's you jump and then crouch in the air, and Crash slams flat first on his face. It's very situational when you use it. There's, I don't know whether there's any in this level, but there's a few boxes in the game that are like reinforced boxes. They've got like a metal shielding around them, and they can only be broken either with an invincible mask or by body slamming them. God, we're like fucking, how long? Like 10 minutes in, I've had so much to fucking talk about already. Right. Am I going to be confident in my ability to a glitch high jump? I think I am going to be. So my old way of doing this would have been... Yeah, there we go, we did it. Would have been to keep that bouncy crate intact to get over here, and then we'll talk about Nitro a bit more in detail. Effectively, Nitro are new for Crash 2, and they're similar to TNT in that they're explosive and they cause you damage, but they're different in that they detonate on contact. So rather than having to jump on them and have a timer, any contact with a Nitro crate would immediately cause it to explode, which means they're very dangerous. So what you normally do is keep that bouncy crate intact, because otherwise you have to drop down into where the Nitro is. And then you're stuck having to navigate quite a dangerous route. With a glitch high jump, you can get enough height to not have to worry about it. You are able to get these in normal jumps without glitch high jumping off the ostriches, but once it's dropped, that's it, they're down for the rest of the game. And no non-glitch jump gets you high enough to get up there, so you miss out on those boxes. A glitch high jump, even when they're dropped, is high enough. Which I'm pretty sure I've had to do every single playthrough on N. Sane Trilogy, because we talked about how the hitboxes are slightly different in N. Sane Trilogy when we're playing Crash 1. That's true in Crash 2 as well, and it makes it very difficult to actually make those jumps. Right, so that we just hit was a Nitro switch. So what that does is that immediately explodes every Nitro crate in the level. So we discussed how you can't reliably break Nitro crates without taking damage. That's the means of destroying them to add to your box counter before you complete a level. Right. And here's our first bonus stage. So you get a bonus stage in every level that isn't an auto-scroller level. I think. No, you don't get it in the jetpack level either. You get it in the majority of standard levels, is the point. You can't lose lives in a bonus stage. The boxes that you get in there are required for the box gem in the level, unlike in Crash 1. But apart from that, pretty straightforward. You just go in, you've got as many attempts as you like. If you do take a death in a bonus stage, you do lose any mask you've got, so it's not completely threat-free, but it does effectively. There's no real risk in play. I should do one of these legit, just so I show it off. You jump in this pit, these rats show up, there's a fixed number of rats, and then this mushroom shows up that bounces you out. But I'm just so in the habit now of just doing the glitch high jump and just not dealing with that I forget to show off what that actually looks like done properly. There we go. It's just so much quicker just jump out. I mean, that previous one we only killed 2 rats. Some of the later ones you have to kill like 6. It's just so much easier just to jump straight out of it. And here's our box gem. So every level starts in a warp room and ends in a warp room. That's not a good sentence to say, but whatever. So we've immediately queued up about 3 different messages that we have to have now. Oh, Crash does this dance every time you collect a gem. I'll let it play out once, you can cancel it with the triangle button, but subsequent times I'll skip it.
Well done, Crash. I knew I could rely on you. Now listen carefully. These holograms are hard to maintain. During the course of my intellectual pursuits, I have stumbled across a force that threatens to destroy the world. Crystals are the only means of containing it. The fate of the world is at stake. It is imperative, therefore, that you bring them to me.
Crash! Are you there? Are you there, Crash?
Right, next level, Snow Go. And just so people, I've not specified this. Unlike Crash 1, where you've got a world map and you have to do each level in turn to unlock the next one, Crash 2 unlocks levels in banks of 5. So I can do these 5 levels in any order I want. I just habitually do them in the order they're presented in. I don't know how much of that was intentional design decision versus how much of that was just we had to put this game out a year after the original game and we don't have the time to spend building an entire little world map on top of everything else we're doing. Now, if you didn't realise there's that hidden area in the first level, that'll be your first encounter with a nitro crate. And this is your first encounter with ice physics. So, one thing, it's not really relevant in this level, because this level does not really throw the ice at you enough to make it really something to worry about. One thing about the ice physics is, if you get stopped on an object, like if you slide into something, Crash actually still carries that momentum for a little while. So you can look like you completely stopped because you collided with something, but you, if you jump, you then still actually have some movement. It's weird. Right, these crushers, the green ones only crushing in response to you going under, and slow enough that if you're going at a full tilt, you're fine. So at this point, they're not really a threat. Right, now the question is, can I get this? I'm not going to try this all day. So, the way you're meant to get this red gem is you're meant to go through a hidden entrance to get into an alternate route in this level. And that drops you, the end of that alternate route drops you down the shaft to collect the red gem. In N. Sane Trilogy, they moved that red gem up because what they do in the speedruns is they manage to glitch high jump to get high enough to collect it here and now. As a kid, I theorised that you could push this box across. It's clearly bullshit. I don't know why I ever thought it would work, or whatever. Oh, my phone's going. Hold on. Sorry about that. I had a phone call from the missus. What was I saying? Yeah, this... You're meant to get it by... Oh, fucking hell, I died. You're meant to get it by going through an alternate route. You can sneak your way into getting it by using a glitch high jump, apparently. I've never actually managed to do it myself. That was probably the closest I've gotten so far. Fuck. I'm gonna have to give up in a minute because this is just gonna waste all my life. It's fine because we need to, if we're going for 100%, we need to get the hidden entrance into the level anyway, because unlocking those hidden entrances counts as a percentage point regardless. So unfortunately I can't show that off because I've never done it before. That, I don't know if you saw that, that was an example of how much momentum you carry on the ice. So if you saw, I was stopped by the boxes, and I jumped, and I launched forward. So that's something you've always got to be mindful of. You still carry momentum, even when you're stopped on the ice. Another thing to notice in Crash 2 is you get, so unlike Crash 1, you do get a box counter that you can check throughout the course of the level. However, you don't actually get to see the total number of boxes in the level until you reach the end. Now, because I'm being thorough, I think we're going to be able to see the total number of boxes. I think we're going to end up getting the box crate in every stage prior to this. Sorry, in this warp room. So I don't think there's any that you can't get the box gem on first try. But you do get to see the box total at the end of the level. Right, sneaky bit back here. Nitro Crate is hiding behind the camera. Again, there's a lot to say about this game, really, when you dig into it. I'm surprised. At least in the early stages. know if you heard that, but there's a switch crate above that bouncy box that enabled those two boxes that were hollowed out earlier. I can't bother checking those. So I did have a 100% speedrun of the Insane Trilogy version of Crash 2 that I streamed out, must have been over a year ago by now. It was a pretty bad speedrun for multiple reasons. Hold on, we're going to get another dialogue thing in a minute, so I'll talk about it in a second. Skip the dance.
So, you were helping Cortex gather crystals, yet you have acquired a gem. Interesting. Well, Crash, know this. As long as you are allied with Cortex, you are my sworn enemy, and I will do anything in my power to stop you. If the fate of the world is truly your concern, you must gather the gems, not the crystals. If you obtain all 42 gems, I can use them to focus a laser beam that will destroy Cortex and the space station he's created. Until then, I must use my forces to stop you from gathering crystals.
I've just removed the cropping because I noticed there's a bit still getting cut off. I can't bother to keep faffing about with it. I'm guessing it's going to be different for every game. But I'll just let it spit out whatever it's rendering. Anyway, that was Nitrous Brio. You get that cutscene the first time you collect a gem, but obviously it has to queue up behind other cutscenes. There's basically that's the only time you hear from Nitrous Brio until you get to the bonus ending. So anyway, I was saying about the speedrun. It wasn't a very good speedrun. It was oh shit, the timer. I didn't think there was a timer in this level. Yeah, it wasn't a very good speedrun. I had a pretty basic route down, so it wasn't terrible, but it was unrefined. I didn't have the movement tech down, and I'm not consistent enough. I took a lot of deaths that a seasoned speedrunner wouldn't take. So anyway, this timer, this shows up in a lot of the river levels, and usually it's tied to a gem appearing. You notice I didn't actually get all the boxes there. That box appeared because I got to the end in time. You'll also note this river level is very much themed after the river levels in Crash 1. So I suspect the design consistency is in part down to development constraints. Again, this game came out only a year after the original game. But also, so I didn't know about this until relatively recently, but there is some promotional material out there that tries to indicate where all 25 of the like non-hidden levels of this game are situated on the original island that Crash 1 took place on, just to give it some context, which is quite interesting. But yeah, this is very much themed after those Crash 1 levels. And stuff encouraging you to do the slide. And you'll notice that particular bonus stage is themed after the Torna bonus stages from Crash 1 as well, being up in the tree line, jumping over mushrooms, very much in style. And it's interesting because the river levels in Crash 1 I never really cared for, whereas these river levels in Crash 2 I really like pretty much all of them. I think are there 3 of them over the course of the game, or 4? I can't remember. There's definitely 3. There may be 4. So this blue gem route exists only to get boxes. So this is something that changed in Crash 3 as far as I can tell. None of the gem routes in Crash 3 contain boxes, if I remember correctly. Ah, the overshot. Bonus stages act as checkpoints, so we're not going to get sent back too far. Oh, we have a check. No, I'm lying. Bonus stages don't act as checkpoints. They remain completed though. Is the main thing. I thought bonus stages act as checkpoints. They definitely do in Insane Trilogy. I'm sure I remembered that in PS1. Unless that one just magically doesn't because it's so close to a checkpoint anyway. I don't know. Weird. I don't know why I keep getting jammed up on that. There we go, that's better. So yeah, this blue gem route, as I said, exists solely to have boxes that you would otherwise miss if you didn't take this route. So, in other words, you can't get the box gem until you've got the blue gem at the first level. I nearly fell into the fucking Let's Players trap of trying to sing along to the music there. Whoops. I want to say I remember the jet ski controls being a bit less responsive in the same trilogy. Right, I think that's everything I need from this area. And then there's the nitro crate. And then that platform at the back, I don't think there's any means of reaching. There's certainly nothing over there. There's no boxes, no hidden level warp, nothing. And that dialogue I mentioned about failing to get crystal, I'm pretty sure that's only available until after you've got the first crystal. Once you've collected 1, you'd never get chewed out for failing to collect 1 on a subsequent level, I believe. They did effectively bring this back in Crash 4 as well. I think only in the pirate theme levels, I want to say. Could be wrong. Yep, that's a box gem. That's everything clear out here. Do I have another cutscene after this? Yes, I do. Nothing but cutscenes.
3 crystals. Not bad. I see you are getting the hang of it. I need to conserve power. I will communicate with you again after you retrieve the 5th crystal.
Now, the communication he claims to have after the 5th crystal, for whatever reason, I've played Insane Trilogy on PS4, on PC, and on Switch, and that particular dialogue just never actually triggers. I don't know whether it's a glitch or what. I mean, you'd have thought if it's a glitch, they'd have patched it by now, so I don't know whether it's something I'm doing with the way I play the game. I don't know. Anyway, this is the pits. Another pretty straightforward jungle level. Again, the jungle levels, since we talked about how the river level is so clearly themed on Crash 1, to a lesser extent, both the jungle levels and the snow levels are also themed on Crash 1, both of which are themed on the jungle rollers levels from the first island of Crash 1. But I feel like they less wear that inspiration on their sleeve because with the snow levels it's really only the rollers that are relevant, and the jungle levels are so kind of visually different to what you see in Crash 1 that it doesn't really count. So there's a split in the road here. Unfortunately there's boxes on both sides. Now if I remember right, we want to go left first. Because one of these routes has boxes that are wireframes, and the switch for activating them is on the other route. Oops, can't spin that dude. So that's the switch I was talking about. Crystal's also here, so this is what I was saying about this is a level that you could potentially miss out on the crystal if you happen to pick the wrong route. That's where the path joins, so rather than backtrack over the section that I always forget what the section looks like, I'm going to backtrack over the section I've already done. For speedrunning purposes, I think this is the wrong shout. I think you actually want to backtrack into the section that you still need to do and be well aware of how many boxes you have left to get. I'm too stupid to remember that, despite having played this game dozens of times since I was a child. So I'm instead going to just backtrack over the section I've already cleared. I probably should have killed more of the enemies because I'm at risk of taking a death here for stupid reasons. This game doesn't ask you to backtrack very often, but when it does, it terrifies the shit out of me every time. Oh, bugger. Right before a checkpoint as well. No, I should be thorough and take out the enemies because otherwise they're going to kick my ass on the way back. Now I've got 2 armadillos to deal with. I think we established that that was the last box I had to worry about. Yeah, that's the last box I had to worry about. I pressed the wrong fucking button. What the? How many years of muscle memory am I failing to live up to now? Like, fucking, I'm 30 now, so over 20 years of muscle memory. And I'm going about pressing the wrong goddamn button. Jesus. Some fucking crash expert I am. Yeah, so the whole fixed camera angle thing in Crash is in part design choice, in that that's kind of what Naughty Dog had in mind for what a 3D platform would look like, and in part technical limitations. So part of the way that, let's face it, Crash is a game that you can tell it's a PlayStation 1 game, but as PS1 games go, it's very visually distinctive. And part of that is down to Naughty Dog really pushing the hardware as far as they could, and part of that is just okay, we're safe now, we've hit the checkpoint. Part of that is down to by fixing the camera and having a pretty clear idea of where you were going to go, they could really push the graphical envelope as far as they could let the hardware get away with, and know that you would never be able to overwhelm it by turning the camera in an angle that means that too much is being rendered at once. It does mean that the backtracking sections suck, which is a problem that then ended up plaguing the Sonic Adventure games later on. Interesting little lineage there. So here's our first reinforced crate. So the reinforced crates you can't break just by either jumping on or spinning. You have to belly flop them. They're used relatively sparingly over the course of the game. Primarily because there's only so much they can actually do with them. But this stage kind of acts as their introduction. Later on in the game, they do end up using them to intentionally slow you down. So one mistake that I want to point out that they made in the Insane Trilogy is if I were to take a death now in this bonus stage and came back, those life boxes would still be life boxes because I haven't actually collected the lives yet. They're in the bank at the bottom of the screen. And until I leave the bonus stage, they don't collect. In Insane Trilogy, they actually... Hold on, I'm going to take a drink. In Insane Trilogy, they actually make it so that what happens instead is the lives behave as they would if you encountered them in the level proper and become question mark crates, which contain Wumpa Fruit, which is wrong. That shouldn't happen. Until they've gone into your main bank of lives, they should just count as lives. Right, and that was the pits. That's another level we'll never see again. That's the first level we get without a cutscene immediately afterwards. And then finally Crash Dash. So, all of the boulder levels in this, in Crash 2, end up being rather cruel. Well, I say all of. There's only 2 legitimately boulder levels in this game. But they are rather cruel when they get to the final segment. As you can see, they ginned up some of the animations. That jumping roll was not something I triggered, that just happens when you reach that door. So, one of the things to note in Crash 2 is you do slightly outpace the boulder as you run. So in Crash 1 we couldn't really eke out any distance on it. In Crash 2 you do slightly run faster than it. That becomes relevant in the later stages. Except if you hit these bombs, they don't hurt you, but they do launch you enough to slow you down. Now, as in Crash 1, the boulder does actually break the crates that you come across, so... Now this is a puzzle they use repeatedly in Crash 1. In Crash 2 it's trivialised because you can just jump over it and then break it. So the idea is once that box is bouncing, it becomes a hazard. Oh, whoops. They do actually like using that bouncing box thing in Crash 4 as well. In Crash 4, the hitbox is completely fucking broken for that. So I'll do it legit this time. Okay, fine, it does kill you. I was going to say, I thought I recalled that it's only if you get crushed that it kills you. Clearly I'm wrong. I was going to say, in Crash 4, you have to deal with them when you've got a time slow ability. And the way it works is Crash 4 is anytime that box is going upwards, it's completely safe. The moment it starts travelling downwards, it's fucking lethal. So here's an example. You see, I collected that 1-up, but I didn't actually bank it, and it's still a 1-up. In Insane Trilogy, that would have been a question mark box by the time I got back in here. I don't actually know what the safe way of doing this is. Oh, fuck. Failed to hold the jump button to get the extra height that I needed to get across that gap. As I say, deaths in bonus stages do not cost your lives. I'll tell you what the fault there was. It's because I was talking and I lost count of how many fucking bounces I'd done. Oh, fucking... can't even make the fucking jump now. Oh. This is not a hard bonus stage. I don't know why I'm taking so many goddamn deaths. I blame the alcohol. I've had a beer and I'm in the middle of a White Russian, so... Speaking of, I'm going to have to get more fucking Tom Coco rum soon, because... I'm nearly out. And what's left, for some reason, has gotten really cloudy, and I don't know whether that's down to the fact that I poured some of it into a it flask, and then poured it back. I'm being quiet so I can count. There we go, we're through. On what is clearly the hardest fucking bonus stage in the game. It's not, I'm lying. The hardest fucking bonus stage in the game is probably one of the piston levels. It might all be for naught anyway if I fuck up the last boulder chase. Not fuck it up like that. I'm missing speed boosters, which I kind of need if this is the last boulder chase. Right, so that's what I mean by it's slightly cruel. So in this case, the boulder would not have broken all those boxes for me. I need to break those. In the second boulder level, it's crueler still. To spoil it ahead of time, one of the boxes that it fails to break is a one that you've got to do a belly flop against, which is really fucking slow when you're running away from a boulder, as you might imagine.
Listen up. We are not without enemies. Some of them you may even recognize. Although they cannot harm you inside this warp room, they can attack you on your way to the next way. To get to the next warp room, use the platform that appears in the center of the room. Good luck.
Yeah, that's the cutscene that I've never been able to get to trigger in Crash Insane Trilogy. Which might be intentional, actually. Now that I think, based on what he said, oh, use the platform when you go in between warp rooms. Is it the Insane Trilogy, this load save screen isn't here? Instead, that's where the boss entrance shows up. So maybe that's why it doesn't exist. Because the dialogue... Why would they not just rewrite the dialogue, though? I don't fucking know. I have to fucking send an email to Vicarious Visions or something. Our first boss is Ripperoo, who is returning from Crash 1. This is the only returning boss from Crash 1 besides from Cortex. So the way you fight this boss is very different. Rather than it being a bunch of nitro crates you're blowing up with, he's now creating TNT crates. Sorry, I said nitro. The patterns are fixed though. So first of all, you can tell the blast radius of all these by the glow. But also, once you've played this enough times, you know the way this works anyway. You can jump on him and get really high up in the air. So every phase of this fight is he plants a bunch of TNT, and then he plants a bunch of nitro. And then he jumps on the nitro, blows himself up, and that makes him vulnerable to attack. Not a very interesting boss. This phase is you stand over here. So I learned the patterns for this as a kid, and it's never left them alone. And here you stand on the equation for acceleration. And that's the end of the boss fight. Crash slows dance at the end of a boss fight. It's a really fucking easy boss fight. Once you know the patterns.
I see that Ripperoo failed to prove much of a challenge yet again. But back to business. There are crystals to be gathered, 20 to be exact. The planets will align shortly, all 13 of them, and this will create a power great enough to rip the Earth apart. Properly utilized, however, the crystals can absorb and contain the energy.
I don't know what he's talking about with 13 planets.
I've been looking everywhere. I don't have much time to tell you this. You have to be careful. Trusting Cortex seems a little unwise. Crash, I can't keep the data path open much longer. Crash, you need to find...
Right, now to add to the list of shit the game doesn't tell you about, see this polar bear? We're going to jump on his head. 10 times. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And he gives you 10 lives. As far as I know, that only works once per save file. The game never tells you about that. I have a vague recollection of doing these levels out of order, but I don't know why. I legit do not remember why. I think there's a red gem path in Snowbiz, and you get the red gem by taking the hidden exit out of Air Crash. And you can't get the box gem out of Air Crash because you need to come into a hidden entrance of this one, I think. And that's hidden exit. Managed to do it first try. Not bad. Right, so this is the hidden warp room, which has a feature in that you can see both the first island and the second island from Crash 1. And this warp room is actually the ruins of Cortex Castle. Now, the fact that you can see the other islands here is a detail that's completely fucking missing from N. Sane Trilogy, which I think is a real shame. However, one thing that N. Sane Trilogy did make more apparent to me than the original games did was that the warp room in Crash 3, I believe, is also built on top of Cortex Castle. So, you know, this is kind of the best opportunity we get to look at these islands because... I don't know what happens if you fall off. You just get kicked out of a warp chamber again. I lose my mask as well. That's cruel. Yeah, later on we'll get level entrances that come up over here and over here, which then obscure these islands from being able to be seen. But yeah, this is the hidden warp room. In the original version of Crash 2, there's no way of getting here besides coming in through a hidden exit. So if you fail to get what you need out of a given hidden entrance, you need to find a hidden exit to come back in again. In N. Sane Trilogy, they move it to be below the first warp room. Oh, my mask is back. That was weird. Where did my mask go? So this is the hidden entrance to the first snow level that we did. You'll notice there's a bunch of enemies here that we haven't seen yet, the porcupines. Porcupines aren't all that interesting, but there's not much point going for a lot of this stuff. Oh, fucking hell. That should have killed me. Well, not killed me, I had a mass, but it should have damaged me at any rate. Yep, there's a notable lack of boxes in this level, primarily because they didn't want to make it so that you have to do this to get the box gem. And that's what I mean about you still having momentum. You see there how I was completely stopped in front of that box, and yet I jumped, and then I still had forward momentum. And that whole momentum situation, I want to say they semi-fix it, but not really in Insane Trilogy. I can't really remember. Oops. Honestly, the safest thing to do is just completely turn around, because that will kill your momentum if you're facing the other way. Oh, fucking hell. That was stupid. Oh. Okay. Oh, fucking hell. Okay, anyway.
What have I got?
I'm gonna see an initial side spin. Ah, fuck. Ah, I'm dead. I forget which is which between the neutral slide spin and the neutral slide jump. Oh, what? That was cruel. If you jump on top of that guy with the right positioning, that counts as not killing you. Yeah, so the neutral slide spin and the neutral slide jump are both speedrunning techniques from Crash 2 and Crash 3, but I don't remember which is which. They both represent the fastest way to move in the respective game. I believe the technique for the neutral slide spin is you slide forwards and then let go of the control stick and then spin. And then that carries the slide speed with you. Yeah, I still had a little bit of momentum there. Okay, that was very clumsy. I shouldn't have taken that many deaths, but that's how you get the red gem legitimately. Like I said on the previous run through this level, you can get it with a very good glitch high jump. I just clearly don't know how to do it. Either that or it's just not possible in the European version, which is entirely a reasonable assumption to make. Developers fix it for the European version all the fucking time. Yeah, I think neutral side spin is Crash 2, because obviously I bumped into something there, but I seem to be carrying a lot of momentum just then. Right, well that's the first warp room fully completed. Oh, one thing I'll note while I'm down here. So if you just move up, that just takes you straight to the next warp room. But you might ask, what if I want to refight the boss? What if I want to redo the boss fight? Well, if you hold triangle, and then hold up, press up, and hold triangle all the way up, I don't know how long you have to hold it, that then takes you into the boss fight. That was something I found completely by accident as a kid. This is the thing I don't understand. This is the thing that confuses me. There is so much I know about Crash 2 that I know for a fact that I knew when I was still a kid. And I don't know how I know it. I legitimately don't. Like, getting the blue gem. I don't know how I know that's how you get the blue gem. I don't know how I got that knowledge. Because I definitely knew how to get the blue gem as a kid. But I don't know where that came from. Because there's no reason to think to try collecting none of the boxes. I need a time machine to go back to like my 7-year-old self and be like, how the fuck did you know to do this? Because like if my daughter decides to play Crash Bandicoot today, she'll probably decide to play, well I say today, she's not even 1 year old yet, so she wouldn't decide to play it today. That's not really her capability. But point being, if she decided to play a modern version of Crash Bandicoot, she would be playing Insane Trilogy. And if she played Insane Trilogy, the first thing it tells you when you load into the first level is, hey, what if you don't collect any boxes? Right, that's why I remembered that you don't do this level first, because you need to have collected the red gem before you can do this path. Oh god damn it. Should have jumped again. So yeah, this is the weird thing about the gem paths in Crash 1. They do often only contain boxes and nothing else, as opposed to in Crash 3 where the gem paths always contain a gem themselves at the end and never have boxes. It's very strange. Let they reassess what the gem paths were for. Why is that box not activated? Is that box be activated? Should I be worried that that box isn't activated? I didn't think I'd missed a switch anywhere. Am I going to have to replay this level? I'm very confused. Oh, what just happened? Okay, we're back here. I thought I moved back into the background, and clearly not. That's what I get for looking at the stream. I've been at 2 viewers for a while now, which is more than I've had for either of my Shovel Knight streams today. So, to paraphrase Eddie Izzard, thank you one person. Because I'm pretty sure the other viewer is me. just making sure that my stream's actually working. I'm not necessarily grinding for a Twitch partnership, but if I was, I'm pretty sure they wouldn't take yourself as a viewer particularly seriously. Oh, that box is filled in now and it's just on the bouncy crate. What the fuck happened last time? Clearly it just glitched out on me. Oh, whatever, we don't need it. Oh, that's a surprisingly tight jump then. I don't think... Is it possible to see a viewer list on Twitch, or do you have to... can you only see people who are chatting? I can't even remember. Right, so this is one thing I want to point out from Insane Trilogy. Damn it, overshot. In the classic Crash games, the Nitro boxes kind of bubble like that, but they never do anything particularly extreme. In Insane Trilogy, they bounce really fucking high sometimes, and the timing between it doing so, as far as I can tell, is purely random, and the number of fucking deaths I've had from just getting a Nitro box bounce into me is insane. And this is our first encounter with the icicles, which just drop when you're in proximity to them. Oh, I should have been dead there. I was kind of like subsumed into the floor. Very weird. Is this going to take us back to the start of the Red Gem route? I hope so. That was more challenging than it deserved to be, quite frankly. Tell you what level I'm not looking forward to, and that's Cold Hard Crash, which is the last snow level in the game. And anyone who's played this game before knows full well it is a fucking nightmare. Another box down here? Looks like there should be. I'm pretty sure there's only 3 that I broke, whatever. Well. I don't even notice one of the fruits I collected there just fucked off. It does it every fucking time, I don't know why. It's just broken. Oh, this is this one. This is another place where the momentum really matters. Because if you just spin that at the moment you reach it, you're still carrying a bit of forward momentum, and you end up just effectively sliding yourself under the TNT crate, and it drops on your head and explodes and kills you. Which, as you can imagine, is quite annoying. Nothing behind the camera. In fact, I don't think they ever do that trick again. Speaking of doing that trick again, I don't know if you recall when we did the lab in Crash 1. They had a similar arrangement of boxes like stacked up like that, with a TNT in the middle at one point. And I don't think they ever do that again in the Naughty Dog games. I can't remember whether they do it in Crash 4. Hopefully 124 is the right number of boxes, otherwise I've got to do this again at some point. Nope, look at that. And we're done. Like I said, my plan is we're gonna at least finish off the first 2 warp rooms and then call it a day. Right, Air Crash has 2 gems. Are either of those gems a timer gem? I can't remember. I didn't get a timer the last one through, but... I want to think that this is one of the levels with a hidden entrance, which is required to get all the boxes. And I think there's a Death Root gem. So Death Roots are new in Crash 2, they also appear in Crash 3. And effectively what they are is they're kind of Crash 2's and 3's equivalent, like closest equivalent to Crash 1's no death requirement, which is you have to reach the effectively there are side routes similar to the gem paths, but you have to reach the place where the platform for them spawns without taking a death up to that point in the level. I think the mulligan rule applies from Crash 1, where if you haven't collected any checkpoints, it counts. Even if you take a death, it just has to be you don't respawn at a checkpoint. And yeah, they're just generally harder paths that don't... Well, some of them contain boxes, some of them don't. The ones that contain boxes are a fucking nightmare. I'm not even going to bother doing the bonus stage or getting that box because there's no point. Yeah, the ones that contain boxes are a fucking nightmare. Yeah, they always contain a gem at the end. Yeah, here we go. So that's a Death Root platform. So if we had taken a death before we reached this, that would have just been a wireframe and we wouldn't be able to do it. On this particular run through the level, we're not going to be able to get the box gem. So this is the best we can do in terms of collecting everything on this particular playthrough. Oof. I thought I was dead there. Oh. Fine. And the fact that the crystal's before it is kind of nice, so it means that we've got both the gem and the crystal. We don't get the box gem, but we couldn't have got the box gem on this particular run through anyway, so it's fine. It's fine. Right, next we've got Bear It. So this is Crash 2's equivalent to Crash 1's hog levels, but because we have now the we no longer have the no death requirement from Crash 1, missing boxes is no longer a quit to the fucking start screen affair, which does mean that you might see me take a lot of intentional deaths if I miss a lot of boxes. You also have a slight bit more interactivity because you can charge, which also means that your jump length gets longer. There we go, I missed a box, so intentional death. Your jump can go farther. In this particular version of the level, I think there's 3 polar bear levels in the game, if I remember right. The first one, I think maybe even the second one, does not require you to use the charge at any point. The third one absolutely does. So we're probably going to be a while before we see it, but yeah, getting that third box is a fucking nightmare. It's always been a fucking nightmare. So, sorry, we're going to see a lot of resets here, I'm afraid. And again, this is another place where I didn't internalise the speed tech before I attempted my Insane Trilogy speedrun. Because as you might imagine, the speedrunners want to be constantly dashing as much as they can, so long as they don't end up falling into a pit. I fucking missed that box again. I'm holding right on the D-pad. The problem is the ice physics are such that it's fucking difficult. Like, you kind of... I don't know whether you actually want to be trying to move left then right again, or whether you just want to try and line yourself up so that your hitbox just reaches both sides anyway. I don't recall this taking loads and loads of tries, but it's definitely something I often don't get first try. Yeah, see, I missed the ones on the left that time. I didn't go for them, and then I didn't fucking get them. Surprising no one. Sorry, I'm a bit surly, okay? I've had a fair bit to drink. Quite frankly, I would have more to drink, but I've got work tomorrow, so I think it'd be ill-advised. As I say, I'm at a beer festival on Friday. If I need an opportunity to drink, that's probably it. Okay, got them all. That's the important thing. And then I missed that one like a fucking moron. Like a goddamn idiot. And again, I missed it again. What the fuck am I doing? That's because I was too busy looking at the fucking computer screen rather than the fucking TV. In case people didn't realise, I'm running this on semi-original hardware. It's PS2 rather than PS1, so technically it's not original hardware. But given that the PS2 contains the PS1 innards, as far as I'm concerned, it's original hardware. Point being, this isn't a fucking emulator, which means I'm still playing this with a PS2 controller looking at my TV. And I missed the fucking box! Missed the box. Again, I'm sorry, I've had a drink, I'm surly. I don't know who it is that's watching this. It could be the missus, it could be anyone, quite frankly. The unique views number has not gone up, so either Twitch is bad at updating that, or it is definitely someone who's watched this before. Quite frankly, you're anonymous until you write in the chat. The moment you write in the chat, I know who the fuck you are. I say that, I've just looked at fucking users in chat and there's like 5. It's like, something doesn't add up here because the Twitch stream only says 2 viewers, so unless there's a bunch of people just lurking my chat for no reason. What the fuck? Quite frankly. Again, I apologise for all the intentional deaths, but this is quicker than repeatedly redoing this level from scratch to try and get the box gem. Because you know what repeatedly doing the level from scratch to get the box gem looks like? It looks like the fucking VOD I've got of the fucking hog levels from Crash 1. That's what that looks like. And the worst part is, there's not an awful lot to say about this level besides this. This level is, apart from being like effectively Crash Bandicoot's version of an auto-scroller, what the fuck? I mean, I'm not surprised. This box has been my nemesis since I was a child. I've hated this box forever. But nevertheless, this is so fucking infuriating. Yeah. There's really, this is pretty much one of the most fucking straightforward levels in Crash 2. So, taking this fucking intentional deaths on a level that I have literally nothing to talk about. Hopefully it was fucking worth it, because I've got the gem now. So, you know, congrats to me, I guess, for getting the fucking gem. I'm sorry, I'm swearing a lot. I swear a lot when I've had a drink. My Tuesday and Wednesday night streams will probably be a bit less drunk. I'm saying that, I'm not working Thursday, so I might have a drink anyway. So I'm just in a quiet patch for work at the minute, so it's a bank holiday weekend at the minute. I got quite a few days off next week. I'm going to spend a fair bit of the time not drunk, but definitely under the influence of alcohol. I'm not like, oh my god, I can't operate. I mean, I'm playing Crash 2 for Christ's sakes. I know I've internalized this muscle memory since I was a child, but it still requires some level of skill. You know, I'm not completely throttled, but I wouldn't trust myself behind a car, quite frankly. Let's put it this way. Even though my reaction times are dulled, I'm not putting anyone at danger by playing badly at Crash 2. Okay? The only person who's going to die if I play badly at Crash 2 is Crash. And you know what Crash is? Crash doesn't fucking exist. Crash is a fucking mesh of polygons and a collision box. So, quite frankly, I'm not too fussed about Crash's long-term well-being. Which is not the same as what I would say about anyone who happened to cross my path when I was driving a car in this level of inebriation, let's say. Oh, fucking... I'm just going to watch the stream for a second, because I'm sure I pressed the slide button before I hit that. No, okay, fine, you didn't enter the animation. I'll take that as a fucking... I thought I saw the slide animation start for a frame before I got hit. Clearly I was wrong. I will take the L. Right, if this is the last boulder, then this is... Oh, the fact that I'm hitting all these fucking bombs is not helping. So the last boulder of this level you want to pull out a massive lead on. I'm not doing myself any favours by missing all these fucking charge pads. Oh, never mind, that wasn't the last one because it's the bonus stage. Fucking hell. Right, is this... never mind, I fell in a fucking hole. Is this the last fucking boulder? Because if it is... Again, whichever one's the last boulder, I really need to pull out some decent lead on it before I get to the end. Because the end of the last boulder is fucking evil, quite frankly. Here we go. Yep, this is the last boulder, and it's evil. Okay, we did it. It's mostly that fucking belly flop box that's the problem. Because if you haven't had a clean run up to that point and you don't get far enough ahead of it to be able to take out that belly flop box, the boulder does not get it for you. So you are fucked, quite frankly. Especially if you don't realise you failed to get it and you get into the warp room area before the boulder hits. Because once you're in the warp room area, there's nothing that can kill you. So there's no way to fucking go back and try again. Sorry. I'm swearing an awful lot, I apologise. I'm pretty sure at some point I told Twitch, hey, treat me as a mature stream. So effectively, if you're watching this, you've accepted the fact that I swear occasionally. I'm swearing more than I probably should. But nevertheless, you're meant to be fucking mature enough to deal with it, so, you know, deal with it. I'm a role model to my child. There's a good chance that one of the viewers is my wife, so, yeah. I say there's a good chance. There's a good chance modulo the internet connection at my in-laws' house. That's kind of the main determining factor here. Right. So, we've talked about shit that the fucking game does not tell you about. Welcome to shit the game does not tell you about. This is a fake wall. Which is another thing that they put in the fucking loading tips in Insane Trilogy, which I personally think massively undermines the design intent of that being a fucking secret. Now in the speedrun, you don't want to carry these masks through because you just take a death in the electrified pool. And that gets you back to the level quicker than trying to backtrack it, but whatever. We're going to try and backtrack it because we're a good little person. I'm probably going to get killed anyway, because I'm probably not going to be able to get my way through the nitro boxes behind the invisible wall. Because this is where I usually fuck up, but we'll try and be good. We'll try and play as the developers intended. Oh look, we did it. Fucking amazing. Now the question is, where's the next checkpoint? Because otherwise I'm going to have to do a whole bunch of shit again anyway. Okay, never mind. We're at the next checkpoint. We're fine. We're fine. It's gone 10 o'clock, which means I'm missing the streams that I tend to watch now. It's fine. Like I said, we'll get this warp room finished. I will tell you for free that the boss of this warp room is an absolute fucking joke. It's not a threat whatsoever. So once we're done with this level, we're basically done with the stream. Why did that? For some reason, a thought just entered my brain, which is, I want to go to Fazendas. Now, if anyone who doesn't know, Fazendas is a, what's the word for it? It's like a Brazilian, it's a Brazilian style of serving meat. Churrasqueiro, I think? The point being, it's, they bring you meat on skewers, and, you effectively, you pay an upfront price. There's a buffet table to help you to like vegetables and stuff, and you can have as much meat as you fucking want until you tell them no. And for some reason, I just had in my head that I want to go there. And I don't know why, because quite frankly, what I've been hankering more than anything of late is a fucking curry. I've not had a curry in ages. And again, there's a good possibility my missus is watching this, but nevertheless, my missus did say to me about 2 or 3 weeks ago that she fancied a curry. And then the other night when we had an opportunity to go out for a meal, I said to her, oh, you mentioned that you wanted a curry. How about we get a curry? And she said, oh no, I had one while I was at my parents' house. So I got left out. To be fair, we went to a Greek place and the Greek meal was very good, so I can't complain too heavily. It's just, I need to moan. I'm a moaner. That's always been my personality type, so unfortunately I moan. Let's do some pull-ups. Improve crashes, core strength. Seriously, watch him. How much strain does that do on your fucking abs? Eh? I couldn't do that. Could you do that? I couldn't do that. That'd destroy me. I feel like the hitbox on these guys is way larger in Insane Trilogy as well.
Of 25 crystals. You're on your way. I'm running low on power, so communication from this point will be difficult. Again, be wary of the pathways between warp rooms. Remember, I'm counting on you.
Right, let's deal with boss number 2, who is a fucking joke. And it's been a fucking joke since this game came out in... When did this game come out? 97? 97? 97? I'm just going to keep saying it in a high-pitched voice until someone says yes. Nobody will say yes. There's one person watching this and they clearly don't want to chat. So it's the Komodo Bros. Which, as far as I can recall, only one of them ever actually reappears in the game. So he sets his brother spinning, you wait till he stops spinning and you hit him. And he throws swords around the room. But they're really fucking easy to avoid. Then he spins his brother spinning again. And he just looks at you while it happens. And you hit him again. And he throws swords again. And he always does it anti-clockwise, so as long as you're moving kind of anti-clockwise behind him, it's not a problem. They kind of revisit this kind of style of boss fight with Dingodile and Crash 3 and do a much better job of it. So this phase he does actually throw swords at you, so you can't just stand fucking still, but he only throws 2. But the third one he goes to throw it and then hesitates. And we're done. That's the end of the boss fight. Like I said, it's a fucking joke. Sorry, I'm getting very loud. I need to go make a cup of tea. As my friend says, I need to put the milk in the toaster. That's a whole... I'm not going to get into the milk in the toaster background on stream. That's a story for another day. But when I actually have a fucking following who might give a shit.
Good show, Crash. The Komodo brothers obviously lacked your mettle. But now is not the time to get cocky. There are still many crystals to obtain. Remember, the world is counting on you.
Right, how are we looking percentage-wise? 35%. So even though we've only done... no, that does make sense. We've done 2/5 of the warp rooms, which should be about 40%. So we're trailing behind, but we've got everything we've got access to. So we'll just talk through this stuff. So plant food, there's a yellow gem in here that's based on the timers again, similar to the previous river level. And then obviously everything's got box gems. Sooner or later, that does have a second gem, doesn't it? Is that a green gem path? One of the sewer levels has a green gem path, but I don't know whether that's this one or the one in the next warp room. Bear Down just has a box gem, but there is a hidden exit out of Bear Down. Road to Ruin, one of those gems is a death route, the other gem is a box gem that you can only get with a hidden entrance. No, I'm lying. Bear Down... No, yes! No, okay. I forgot these are both in the same warp room. Both Bear Down and Unbearable have hidden exits. There's 2 hidden exits in this warp room. There's a hidden exit in one of the river levels as well. I'm trying to... I think plant food is the last river level. So maybe this is where the hidden exit is. Am I wrong? Is it not in another river level? Am I misremembering? There's one in one of the B levels in Warp Room 4. I'm blanking on where the last one is. I will know it for seeing it. I do remember where all these are. But I don't fucking know. I've not got a fucking clue. Right, before I... What is the point of that? I was just going to see if there's any way I can work out who was viewing the stream if they're not chatting. But I've clicked the fucking numbers and it just hides the fucking numbers. Why do I want to hide the fucking numbers? Fucking ridiculous. Right, let's save and then we'll call it a night. Do I have enough characters to do this? I normally just call it Wes because that's a fucking name. Fucking shock horror. I would call it after my own fucking name. But given that I'm on stream, I'll use my fucking stream name because that's what I do. You gotta be an internet fucking personality, don't you now? You can't just be you gotta be fucking more than you. But I don't even know what point I'm making. I'm drunk, I'm surly, please, I apologise. If I stream tomorrow, I will not be as surly because I will not be drunk. I cannot promise the same for Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday or Sunday. But tomorrow I can. Tomorrow, I will be sober. I can promise you that. Wednesday, I will probably also be sober because I need to be in a fit state to let people in the house quite late at night. Okay, anyway, I'm going to call it a night. We've done everything we can do this far in the game. It's taken me an hour and a half, which is not speedrun pace. If I was trying to speedrun this, that would be terrible, and I would just reset at this point. That'd be worthless. But I'm not trying to do words. I'm not trying to do speedrun pace. I'm trying to do casual pace, but I still want to go for 100% because, long story short, I don't see the point of playing Crash 2 and only going for any percent completion as a casual playthrough because it's so fucking trivial compared to actually doing 100% completion. It's you clear it in less than half the time to do any percent, and I don't see why you'd bother fucking doing it. Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to stop rambling. I'm missing... I say I'm missing. I've not looked at Twitter or anything, so I'm not 100% sure. I'm fairly certain I'm missing a stream that I want to watch myself. So, I'm going to call it a night. I've done 2 warp rooms. We'll pick this up another night. Maybe even tomorrow night. I don't know. I need to take a look at what I've got on my list of games that I want to play through and see... what I've got in mind. I'm still a bit away from being able to do anything on the N64. Not this week, but maybe the week after that'll be resolved. PS3 remains an issue that I've not done anything towards resolving. PS4 is still wide up in the living room, so I can't play anything on the PS4. But I've got enough of a backlog of games. Like Skyward Sword HD is one I picked up recently that I really ought to play, and doing that on stream might be an excuse to actually get somewhere with it. So, anyway, as discussed, I will shut the fuck up and I will stop streaming because I've been rambling for God knows how fucking long. And I think you've seen enough Crash by now. So, we will come back to this at a later date.